So, my message is to everybody, listen, find your transferable skill. Whether it's rebounding, whether it's, being a point guard and being able to handle the ball and not turn it over, not make mistakes, getting your teammates in place, whether it's shooting, whether it's your athleticism, and your athleticism doesn't always have to translate to on the offensive side of the ball. Your athleticism can also translate into defense. There are guys that are in the NBA that are strictly lockdown defenders, and that's just what they do. People will look at them and be like, "Well, they don't run any plays for this guy. Like, why is he out here?" Defense. That's his job. That's it. Nothing else. He defends, he rebounds, and he plays and he gives energy at a high level. That is something of value that you can bring to the table. Your transferable skill is not always going to be what the other guy brings to the table, and that's fine because there's 15 guys on the team for a reason. There are going to be some guys that are going to be just really good practice players. They play so well in practice and they challenge the first team guys that a coach needs them. They need them around because they bring good energy in practice every day. No matter what, even though they know they're not going to play, they bring game energy to practice. That's a transferable skill. Leadership, transferable skill. There's tons of guys in the NBA that you may hear this word a lot. They're called locker room guys. That's a transferable skill. When you're a good person, when you're a leader, when you're just a person that people like, that will cause you to constantly be in the mix. Because like I said, when you watch an NBA game, when you watch a college game, there are guys that are on the bench, and to the person that really doesn't understand, they might say, well, that guy's not that good. He never gets in. But at the college level, they give scholarships to practice players. You got to have 10 guys to practice every day. So there are some guys that are just going to get scholarships because they're good players and they may or may not crack a lineup at a specific school. But again, they're good kids. They come from a good background. They also have good grades, which is another point too. While players at times get scholarships, you have to keep a certain GPA in order to be eligible to play for the NCAA, NAIA, NJCAA, and etc. So there are guys that are on teams on scholarships, full athletic scholarships, just because they bring value academically. They have a high GPA, which helps boost the team's GPA. That's a transferable skill. That is something that you do well, that you bring to the table, that you can market in your recruiting process. So, just don't look at transferable skills as something that always has to be on the floor. Majority of the time, those are things that are going to stand out most, especially when, coaches are recruiting players that they need to step in and play. But a transferable skill is, anything that you do well that it has a positive effect on you, on your teammates, on your coaches, on the outcome of the game, on the outcome of the season. Young players, just please keep that in mind. There's a quote that, a guy that I really look up to a lot, man. I follow him on Instagram. And now that I've been following him, I've learned so much more about him. Big shout out to him, Coach Rico Hines. He has a quote that says, know your big picture. You got to know who and what you are as a player. And not only do you have to know who and what you are as a player, you have to be comfortable with who and what you are as a player. Because there's only going to be one leading scorer. There's only going to be one leading rebounder. There's only going to be one leading assist guy. There's only going to be one turnover leader. There can only be one leader in each category. So understanding that going into it, a lot of guys want to get to the park and want to play iso ball. And it's just like, listen, man, go set a screen. Or if you're a defender, call out the screen for your teammate so he doesn't get blasted on the screen. And then he turns around and looks at you like, why didn't you tell me? All these things are valuable transferable skills that if you start working on them now and perfect them and take them with you throughout your travels and as you go up levels, these are things that are going to help you be more marketable in your recruiting process. It's not just always about, the highlight film or I scored 30 last night. Those things are great, and they do work for some players. But like I said, there are players that serve different roles and different purposes on teams, from the smallest youth levels all the way up to the NBA. Where these guys are the best basketball players in the world. So there's nothing wrong with being a role player. I had the opportunity to be both. In high school, I was a feature guy. There were times, especially my junior year of high school, where I wasn't the feature guy, but I was still kind of a key player. And then when I got to college, there were so many other talented guys there, I played a role. Part of my role was scoring in the paint, rebounding, and shot blocking, but there were other guys that did things, better, or did things that, that brought a different different level of importance to the team. We had one leading scorer. We had a guy that led the team in 3-point percentage. Fortunately for me, I was one of the team leaders in rebounding. I kind of flip-flopped throughout my years. One year I led the team, one year I didn't, but that was my job. That's what I was brought in to do. So understanding and, again, like I said, accepting who you are and what you are as a player, once you come to grips with that, then you start seeking out what that transferable skill is. Please work on it, perfect it, and don't be ashamed of it. Don't let other players rag you and be like, man, you're on the team and you only average 8 points a game. There are guys in the NBA that average less than that, and they're multi-millionaires. So make sure you keep that in mind while you guys are out there working on those transferable skills. I hope this video was helpful to everybody. Again, everybody, please stay safe, and keep working hard. And anybody that needs any help with their recruiting, please reach out to us at NHACG Hoops, HOOPZZ on Instagram. DM us, and also please look us up on YouTube. Well, now we have a YouTube channel, NHACG Recruiting. If you happen to see this video on YouTube, rather, please like and please subscribe. Everybody have a great day.